Guys, I'm sorry I have to put on my mic. Guys, it's over. Guys, we are live with another one. Okay? Live with another one. Welcome to the channel. This is OE MMA TV. I am your host, OE. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you already know. You might as well do it. All right? The only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys, topic of discussion. Look, this was supposed to be, this was supposed to be UFC post-fight for the impressive win of Khalil Rountree beating to a pulp Jamal Hill. I did have Khalil Rountree winning that fight by unanimous ass whipping, and that's exactly what happened. I did not see how Jamal Hill can win anywhere in mixed martial arts. How can he beat Khalil Rountree? I could not see it. Point blank, period. And what happened? Khalil Rountree went in there and used Jamal Hill as a punching bag. However, guys, this is not that video. Guys, we have breaking news, guys. Breaking news, guys. Let me take a drink before I give you this breaking news that has surfaced post UFC Fight Night. Guys, the saga is over. Finally, we don't have to wonder what if anymore. We don't have to wonder, wow, what's going on in this division? What is going to happen? Will he retire? Will he defend? Will the UFC be honest with us? Will Dana White be honest with us? Guys, it's over. The saga is over. Jon Jones is finally retired, guys. Let's give Jon Jones a round of applause, guys. How you doing, Zach? Guys, let's give a round of applause to Jon Jones finally retiring. Dana White finally admitting to himself that this fight was never going to happen. Let's give a round of applause to UFC and Dana White, guys. If you're new to the chat, guys, like and subscribe. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it, guys. Okay, you might as well do it. Let's give a round of applause to them, guys. Round of applause. Finally, the UFC is being honest with us. Finally, Dana White makes an appearance to the post-fight press conference and actually, handles this situation head on. Okay? Finally told the media that Jon Jones called him last night and has retired. And now Tom Aspinall is the reigning champion of the heavyweight division, guys. Let's give Tom Aspinall a round of applause for beating Jon Jones without even fighting the guy. Unbelievable. For those of you who are not new to the channel, guys, I've been said Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall is never happening. That fight is never happening. The last time you watched Jon Jones in the octagon was against Stipe Miocic about a year ago. A dead body in Stipe Miocic that barely could make it into the octagon. The guy wobbled into the octagon, guys. Okay? I've been told you guys that fight would never happen. Jon Jones was already checked out. Dana White is already checked out. And this is it, guys. Finally, we know moving forward, Tom Aspinall will never get the opportunity to fight Jon Jones. Unfortunately, that fight is not ever going to happen. Now, what does Tom Aspinall do? I mean, he's left with a division that's in shambles. I mean, for God's sakes, guys, the UFC has signed a former PFL heavyweight champion, guys. Guys, the UFC, I repeat, have signed a former PFL heavyweight champion, guys. If that doesn't sound desperate, I don't know what doesn't. Okay, I really don't, guys. If the UFC is willing, okay, if the UFC is willing to sign a former PFL heavyweight champion, then guys, why are they not signing Francis Ngannou? Obviously, they're not signing Francis Ngannou because Dana White doesn't want to get bent over and fucked in the ass, basically. You know what I mean? Twice. Okay, so excuse my French, guys, but that's basically how Dana White thinks. Okay, let me take this drink after saying something like that. I appreciate the support. Thank you, guys. This is actually good. But honestly, guys, it's crazy out there. Hide your kids, hide your wives, because the UFC and Dana White, they don't know what they're doing anymore. Honestly, if it doesn't show you guys enough that they've been hiding and running around with their heads cut off in the background, we already knew that John Jones was never going to fight Tom Aspinall. Okay, we already know that Dana White is checked out, and guys, we already know that the product, okay, that the product that the UFC is delivering to their fans is just not it, guys. Is this not it? And going back to the product, guys, this UFC fight night that just happened live, headlined by Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill, dead body of Jamal Hill. Guys, this card was terrible. Okay, from top to bottom, terrible. Look, all due respect, I'm not going to say top to bottom because I do give respect to Ignacio Bahamundes and Rafael Fiziev. They went in there and gave a hell of a fight, and so did Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill. However, everything else was atrocious. Okay, there was only about, what, one finish and one submission? Atrocious. Atrocious. How you doing, guys? If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media. This channel is OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. All right? The only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right? Because those other channels, I don't know what they're doing. But guys, honestly, the product that the UFC has given us is trash. And now we're left with a heavyweight division that's in shambles. Tom Aspinall, longest reigning interim title holder of all time, now is left with a heavyweight division where he can't even build a legacy off of. I'm just being honest. Unless they sign Francis Ngannou, I don't see anything exciting happening in that division with Tom Aspinall, regardless who Tom Aspinall is. Okay? And as it moves, okay, with this UFC fight night that just happened today, what was my record today? I went 6-5, I believe. Let me pop out my other book. This book is fulfilled. I'm done with this notebook. I got me officially a new one because I had to write literally on the backboard. No room here. What was this? What did I go? Damn it, where is it? I went 7-5. Yeah, I went 7-5. I went 7-5 for this UFC fight night. Okay, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate you. All right, I really appreciate you. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, as I say. But guys, I went 7-5 for my UFC fight predictions for this event, which makes me 133 wins and 91 losses. That is 133 wins and 91 losses for my UFC fight predictions for 2025. All right, that is about 60%. You know what I mean? When it comes to calling it correctly. All right, about 60%. So I'm not bad at that. All right, definitely want to get it above the 70 range. That would be incredible. But as it stands right now, 133 wins, 91 losses for my UFC fight predictions. And guys, you know, the goal for this year was to reach 500 subscribers. Okay, it was just a reachable goal. That's what exactly I wanted to reach. And we're halfway through the year. We already surpassed and crushed the goal. So I'm hoping by the end of the year we could reach 1,000 subscribers. I know we can do it. All right, we're already above, way above 500. So let's keep hustling. Let's keep grinding. Let's keep building this community. Because like I always say, man, this channel is yours, man. Honestly, this channel is yours. I'm just the host, the pilot, so to speak. You know what I mean? And you guys guide the channel. All right. But that's about it, guys. I mean, you know, if I had to give a rating, you know what I mean, to this UFC fight prediction, I mean, to this UFC fight prediction, for this UFC fight night, 1 out of 10. Uh, 1 out of 10. I'm giving it a 5. I'm giving this a 5, and that's a nice, that's a soft cushion right there. Okay, they should appreciate the fact that I'm giving this UFC fight night a soft 5. Okay, because it could easily be a hard 4, easy. But I'll give it a soft 5. All right. In my opinion, I mean, the prelims, I mean, all the fights went to decision. Honestly, all of the fights went to decision. Not one finish. Not one. The main card, there was only one finish and one submission. I know it's not all about finishes and submissions, but it's also about performances. And even though those matches that went to decisions, the performance was lackluster, man. It just was. All right, I have to put it that way. It was just lackluster. All right. But that's the breaking news, guys. Jon Jones is finally retired. I want to give him another round of applause. I really do. I want to give him another round of applause because it takes huge cojones to hold up a division like he did. You know what I mean? You could have, you could have, you could have just retired in the octagon after you fought Stipe. I mean, that would have made a lot of sense. I mean, especially after beating Stipe, you're in front of, your hometown. You're in Madison Square Garden. Why not let everybody know that you're going to be retired and this will be your last fight? It would have been, you know, a story worth writing. But instead, you held up the division for damn near almost a year. You got Dana White over here, checking in and out of press conferences, not making his appearances, trying to avoid the media. Every time Jon Jones is brought up, all he can say is, guys, he's the greatest of all time. I mean, finally, the saga is done, guys. Honestly, finally, the saga is done. I'm done with this shit. I'm happy about this, honestly. I'm gonna take off the mic now. I'm gonna put it in my hand. I'm happy about this, man. I want you to hear the happiness that's coming, through my vocal cords. I'm absolutely happy. Happy. I'm happy about this. I don't know how many videos I made on this channel about Jon Jones possibly coming back and fighting Tom Aspinall, and me telling everybody on this channel that the fight would never happen. Point blank. I knew it. I knew it for a fact. I've been watching this sport since 2003. I know this sport like the back of my hand, man. And I know for a fact if somebody wants to fight somebody and will fight somebody. And I know for a fact Jon Jones will fight somebody, and he would have fought Tom Aspinall. However, it's just not a fight that's that interesting. It just isn't. Even with Jon Jones pulling his stunts, maybe he was, maybe he was pulling his stunts to see if people will be, just a little bit more that interested in the fight. But unfortunately, the fight never caught steam. It just didn't. Actually, as Jon Jones kept pulling his stunts, Dana White, the UFC, and the fans started getting completely tired of the BS. And now we find ourselves, like I said, with a heavyweight division that's in shambles. Dana White checked out doing voiceovers for Ram truck commercials. UFC, the company itself, just giving a trash ass product to their fans. I mean, going forward, guys, there's a lot of issues. A lot of issues moving forward. I mean, the UFC refuses to even recruit heavyweights. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, you're gonna sign a former heavyweight champion that was in the PFL, but you're not gonna at least consider having a conversation with Francis Ngannou, or even consider having an Ultimate Fighter that consists of recruiting heavyweights. Like, I don't know who the hell is making these decisions in the UFC. And like I said on my other lives, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with that person. Honestly, I'm just being real, because if you have a business degree, right, or any degree for that matter, and you work for a large company that makes billions of dollars, all right, in the UFC, then how are you okaying these decisions? How are you even coming up with these ideas and saying to yourself or yourselves, because it might be multitude of people in these meetings okaying these ideas? So how are you collectively in a consensus coming to your membrane and telling yourselves, wow, that's a great idea. Let's run with it. Oh yeah, it's going to be very entertaining. The fans are going to love it. When in reality, 2025 has been a fucking letdown. As a UFC fan, like I said, I've been watching this since 2003, guys. 2003, I've been watching UFC mixed martial arts. And let me tell you something: the product that they have delivered to us for the last, I want to say, 2 to 3 years, has been complete trash. And 3 years prior to that, that was I say like about 6 years ago. That was the start of the downfall of the UFC when it comes to the product that they're delivering. I'm not talking about like the overall income and popularity that the UFC is, in the position that they're at right now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in general, the product that you're watching with your keen eye. I'm sorry, the pay-per-views are getting worse. Pay-per-views are getting worse. The UFC fight nights are getting worse. Look at UFC 319. If the headliner, okay, if DDP or Chimaev pull out of that fight, that card is in shambles. That pay-per-view does not even deserve to be a pay-per-view fight if Chimaev or DDP fall out of that card. Barely a UFC fight night. Actually, barely a UFC Apex fight night. Okay? If that happens. God forbid somebody falls out of that card. And that's the reality. That's the reality that we're living in as being a UFC fan. It's hard enough being a UFC fan, guys. I could tell you this right now: you can't be broke and be a UFC fan. Okay, those two cannot be mixed. Honestly, it just cannot be mixed. Because first of all, you have to pay for a paywall to be able to order the pay-per-view that costs $80. Not only that, but if you want to watch the fights, you have to watch it on UFC Fight Pass or ESPN Plus or pay-per-view. All items where you have to pay. Okay? And let's not talk about the ticket prices. If you want to be a true fan and go to the arena, and experience the entertainment live, let me tell you something. You're gonna be paying upwards of $1,000 per ticket, and those are for nosebleed seats that you're sitting basically outside, and not even in your car or in a parking lot. My guy, you're in your nearest freaking bus stop. That's how far you are from the octagon. Okay, for $1,000. And let's not talk about the rest of the night. Okay, let's not talk about food and beverage. You end up spending upwards of $7,000 for one little night out with your significant other, for 2 tickets and some food and beverage, for some seats that you literally binoculars wouldn't even help. Just being honest. I don't know what the UFC is doing. I really don't. But this is the breaking news, guys. That's it. The saga's over. John Jones has retired. Dana White finally addresses the media and is finally honest about what is going to happen in that division, which is the heavyweight division. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Okay? The only channel where the fans come first, not live. It's OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Don't forget to click that bell notification, guys. It keeps us all connected in this beautiful community that you guys are building. Because like I always say, this is your channel. I'm out of here, guys. Like, subscribe. Peace. One love.